Christopher.
Dear Christopher.
Dear Christopher, I'm supposed to write a letter. I'm not sure how I'm to pour myself onto a page to share with a room of people who don't know us, who've heard some version of our story and been moved by it, but who could never really comprehend what it was like inside that apartment, the most intimate pieces of my life.
I cannot help but think of you and reflect on your life, a life gone too soon. A delayed letter prevented timely communication by professionals in the last weeks of your life. We don't know what a difference it could have made. I do know that the system was changed forever because of that letter.
I know I never got the privilege to meet you, but I wanted to let you know how much your life has impacted not only my life and my family's, but also everyone that hears your story. My mission is to keep you alive in the hearts and minds of everyone here today. It was your story that pushed my grandmother, Maxine Roberts, and her friend Sandra Martin to create the Center for Child Protection. Back in 1990, the Austin American-Statesman had highlighted 3 child abuse cases on the front page of the paper within a very short 6 to 8 week time span. This caught the attention of my grandmother, Maxine Roberts, who was distraught. As a former elementary school teacher and brand new grandparent, she just couldn't understand how these children were repeatedly sent back home after numerous hospital visits, 911 calls, and an active CPS investigation into the hands of their abusers. One of the stories stood out to my mom, Vicki Roberts, as she recognized the mother's name, Robbie Boutwell. Robbie, a former employee of our family's business, was your mom. Her first questions were, if we had known, how could we have helped? And what can we do?
With all the beauty that's come after our pain and all the families who've been helped, I can't help but struggle with the reality that it took your death and months of unnecessary and horrific suffering for someone to say enough. I carry such immense gratitude for those women, for Maxine and Sandra particularly, for ensuring your name would never be forgotten and making it their mission to protect children from those who do the unthinkable. I only wish it'd come sooner. I've spent my life hopeful that I'll make you proud, hopeful that I don't squander the life that I, for some reason, got to carry on while yours was ripped away. Many moments in my days feel hollow. I feel unworthy of the breath in my lungs. I run from the pain of it, but it only feels selfish. You couldn't run, and when you cried, no one came.
My grandmother called the DA's office and spoke to Ronnie Earl, the then current district attorney. He said the biggest things that are needed are money and a physical location for all parties to come together under one roof. After that call, my grandmother knew that her mission was to stop child abuse.
I thank God he will never again see life outside of prison. But if we're being honest, it never should have taken so much. It never should have gotten to the point that it took him torturing more families to be put away. And then there was everything that followed. The prolonged trauma of having to retell each stranger what we'd been through, the physical exams, the psychological exams, the DHS social workers, foster care. And there was a baby there with a broken leg who'd been thrown from a window. Total separation and complete fracture of our family. If I could give my life to take it all from you, I would. In a heartbeat, I would, but I can't. The best I can do is dedicate my life to the advocacy of others, particularly those who cannot advocate for themselves. I promised you I would always choose to be brave. I promised to speak out when others couldn't or wouldn't, and I consciously make that choice every day. It's the promise that gave me the strength to take the witness stand over and over until he was where he belongs. Although I walked away still wishing I'd said more and regretting letting him see my vulnerability, in the end, they finally got it right.
Sandra, through her connections in the DA's office, connected with the doctors, child psychologists, attorneys, different agencies, and law enforcement to put together a team of trusted professionals that come together under one roof to allow the abused child to only have to tell their story one time. Meanwhile, my grandma, who was in real estate at the time, used her connections to find a rundown house in East Austin, found contractors to donate their time, labor, and materials to get the house up and running. She handled the fundraising portion. The Travis County Children's Advocacy Center was born.
What we learned from you made us better and made our community safer. We learned that everyone involved with an at-risk child needs to communicate with each other in person. This is the reason the Child Protection Team was created. Law enforcement, CPS, medical, and prosecutors now share information about the cases. One of the big things that has happened is that these agencies now co-locate on a beautiful campus at the center. This seems like such a simple thing, however, it makes a monumental difference. When I think back to your little life, I'm saddened that we didn't reach that point earlier. No amount of success makes up for the life you lost. But I want you to know that your life and your death made an impact on all of us. It changed our community forever.
If any good is to come of it, I can only hope that it's reflected in how I live my life and in the tenacity of your nephews and generations to come, who never turn away when confronted with injustice. I hope it's carried in the hearts of everyone that hears of you, and that they are also moved to action just as Maxine and Sandra were.
Christopher, your story gave my family a purpose. My entire life, I have spent time around the center, watching little lives be changed after hearing your story, and them knowing that they are not alone.
I remember after you passed away, I would tell the moon goodnight. And each night I would find your star amongst all the others, and I would tell you goodnight. And I love you. And then I would make a wish. And every wish was the same. I'd wish to have you back. I love you, sweet brother. My angel. My shiny star. I promise to keep fighting for you.